Sheila Carter, for once, stood without menace in her eyes. Desperation had stripped her of that familiar smirk and left behind a mother's raw plea. She found Poppy late one evening behind the hospital, where the last rays of the sun barely touched the concrete. Her voice trembled, not out of fear, but out of vulnerability. "I know what you think of me," she began, "but I'm begging you, not for me, for Luna. You need to help her before it's too late." Poppy was already on edge. Secrets weighed on her more with each passing day. She had hidden so much from so many, Bill, Lee, even Luna. And now Sheila, the woman no one trusted, was the only one telling her something she feared might be true. "What's going on?" Poppy asked, her voice sharp. "She's unraveling," Sheila replied. "You don't see it because you want to believe she's still innocent. But I've seen the signs. I've lived them. She's going down a road I know too well. And if you don't stop her, no one will." Poppy left without answering, but Sheila's words echoed in her head. What neither of them realized was that Remy, unaware of the storm brewing behind Luna's smile, had already done his part to push things forward. It wasn't intentional, he was just trying to be kind. A friend. He had helped Luna sneak access to some confidential documents at Spencer Publications, believing it was for a new pitch. He had lent her a company car when she said she needed to clear her head. He had even covered for her during meetings, thinking she just needed a break. Then Luna told him the truth. The confession came on a rainy night, when she showed up at his apartment soaked and shaking, eyes wild with a manic gleam. She sat on his couch and said, "You think I'm the victim. You think I'm just trying to find my place. But it's more than that, Remy. Steffi took everything from me before I even had the chance to fight for it." He blinked. "What are you talking about?" "Finn," she said, eyes narrowing. "He should have been mine. He was mine before she poisoned him. Every time I tried to get close, she pushed me away. She treated me like a threat. And now I am." Remy sat frozen, horrified. "You, Luna. You can't blame Steffi for your own feelings. Finn is married to her. You were never. She's the only thing in the way," Luna whispered. "If she were gone, he'd see me. The real me." Remy's stomach turned. He finally saw the cracks. The obsession. The darkness creeping into her voice like a shadow claiming its host. He had helped her, given her tools, access, mobility, without realizing he was feeding a delusion. When Finn began to sense something was off, he confronted Luna directly. She was no longer subtle. Her tone dripped with sarcasm, her words tightly controlled. "Why won't you even consider that we belong together?" she asked him in his office. "Because I'm married," he replied without blinking. "Because I love Steffi. Because what you're doing is wrong." The rejection didn't crush her, it ignited something. Her energy shifted. The flirtation vanished. All that remained was bitterness. "You're lying to yourself," she said coldly. "You think she loves you? She doesn't even see you. You're just her prize. Her rebound. But I see you. I love you. And one day, you'll realize it's not a choice, it's fate." Finn, disturbed, told Steffi everything, but not the full extent. He didn't want to scare her. He believed Luna would calm down. He was wrong. Meanwhile, Hope sat across from Liam in their shared parenting meeting and quietly dropped the bombshell. "You need to tell them," she said. "Everyone. About your diagnosis." Liam hesitated. "It's not the right time." "When will it be?" "When someone else gets hurt." "When Luna snaps?" she asked. "You've seen the pattern. You've felt it." Liam's recent diagnosis of Luna's mental instability, based on her increasingly erratic and obsessive behavior, wasn't official, but it was grounded in observable truth. He had studied these patterns, seen them in his own family, and he feared the next phase would be catastrophic. Back at the Spencer estate, Bill stood in his study, face pale as he revealed everything to Lee. She's mine. Luna is my daughter. But I failed her. I didn't protect her. I didn't even know she existed. Lee listened in silence, the tension in the room thick as ice. So what now? You just let her destroy Steffi's life because you feel guilty. Bill shook his head. I'll fix this. I have to. But I don't know how. The answer came too late. One evening, Steffi returned home alone. The house was quiet. Finn had gone to a medical conference out of state. The kids were with Ridge for the weekend. She poured herself a glass of wine, walked into the living room, and froze. Luna was sitting on the couch. I let myself in, Luna said softly, brushing her hair over her shoulder. You always made this place feel so cold. I just wanted to see how it felt without you in it. Steffi set down the wine glass. Her heart raced. What are you doing here? I wanted you to see something, Luna said, rising to her feet. I wanted you to feel what it's like when someone takes everything from you. When they smile while they ruin your life. Steffi backed up. You need to leave. Now. But Luna didn't move. Her hand slipped into her coat pocket and Steffi tensed, uncertain what she might pull out. Before anything could happen, the door burst open. It was Remy, breathless, holding up his phone. I called the police, he said. They're on their way. Luna's eyes filled with tears, not rage this time, but despair. I just wanted to be happy, she whispered, then turned and walked out the back door, disappearing into the night before sirens could be heard in the distance. Back at the hospital, Hope held her mother's hand. Brooke, once powerful and radiant, looked diminished, emotionally defeated. Ridge had cut ties. Hope had distanced herself. Beth was spending more time with Liam. Brooke felt abandoned. I'm still here, Hope said gently. I know things are broken, but we'll fix it. Together. But even Hope wasn't sure anymore. She was scared. Of Luna. Of what came next. Of the cycle that never ended. And Steffi, despite the close call, remained unaware of how close danger truly was. Her walls were back up. Her pride restored. She thought it was over. But Luna wasn't done. Somewhere in the dark corners of the city, she was planning. She had seen the edge of madness and stepped back, but only to regroup. Because in her mind, the story wasn't finished. And Steffi Forrester hadn't paid the final price yet. No one saw it coming. Not even Bill Spencer, a man whose entire empire was built on control, power, and anticipating threats before they struck. But this wasn't a corporate ambush or a hostile boardroom takeover. This was personal, violent, explosive. It started the night he severed all ties with Luna. After months of trying, of offering her a place in his family, of cleaning up her growing messes, of ignoring every red flag because she was blood, Bill had reached his limit. Luna's descent into obsession had not just endangered his business, but nearly cost Steffi her life. Her behavior had grown erratic, manipulative, and deeply unstable. She was no longer the wide-eyed girl seeking a place at the table. She was a threat to everything and everyone Bill held dear. And so, in a private confrontation in his office, Bill laid down the final blow. You're no longer part of this family. You're no longer welcome in this company. I tried. God knows I tried. But I won't sacrifice everything because you can't control yourself. Luna's face didn't crumble. She didn't cry. She just nodded. Quiet. Cold. Something flickered in her eyes, a glint of something unspoken, something lethal. She left without another word. Bill thought that was the end of it. He was wrong. 3 nights later, just past midnight, Spencer Publications stood quiet beneath the moonlight, the last few lights from the executive floor still burning. Bill had stayed late, going over international acquisitions, trying to get ahead of another scandal brewing online. The lobby was nearly empty. Just him and one security guard. Then the shot rang out. Glass exploded behind him. A bullet shattered the front door, missing his head by inches. Bill dropped to the floor, heart pounding, breath caught in his chest. Another shot. Closer. Deliberate. He crawled behind the reception desk, reaching for his phone. And then, out of nowhere, Sheila. She had no business being there. No one even knew how she'd gotten past the perimeter. But there she was, eyes locked on Bill as another shot rang out, and she lunged. 1 second, she was shoving him to the ground. The next, a bullet tore through her shoulder. She didn't scream. She didn't flinch. She just looked down at the blood running from her body, then back up at the figure in the distance, Luna, holding the gun with both hands, shaking, wild-eyed, tears streaking down her cheeks. By the time security tackled Luna, the damage was done. The next morning, headlines screamed, Luna Spencer opens fire on Bill. Sheila Carter takes bullet to save him. The city went into chaos. Spencer Publications locked down. Police swarmed the scene. Luna was arrested and taken into custody without bail. Mental health assessments were rushed. Charges piled up. Attempted murder. Reckless endangerment. Possession of a firearm. Public endangerment. And underlying it all, the legacy of a girl no one really understood until it was too late. In the hospital, Bill sat beside Sheila's bed. He was silent for hours. Sheila, bandaged and pale, smiled despite the pain. You didn't expect that, did you? She whispered. No, Bill said quietly. I didn't. Sheila chuckled softly. Saved your life. Guess that makes us even. We're not even. She turned her head toward him. Then let's be. Help me. With Finn. Just a conversation. That's all I want. Bill didn't answer. He stood and walked to the window, watching the sunrise break over the LA skyline. Everything about the night before screamed madness. But the truth was simple. Sheila had saved him. Without her, he'd be dead. And now, she wanted something in return. The next day, Finn visited him. Still shaken. Still guarded. Bill didn't waste time. She saved me, Finn. Took the bullet meant for me. Whatever she's done in the past, she didn't hesitate last night. Finn's jaw tightened. That doesn't erase everything. I'm not saying it does, Bill replied. I'm saying maybe it starts something. A conversation. A moment of grace. Finn didn't respond. He just walked out. But the seed was planted. As the legal storm around Luna intensified, so did the questions. How had she gotten the weapon? How long had she been planning the attack? And how had Sheila Carter, of all people, been at the scene at the exact right moment? Speculation exploded. Conspiracy theories ran wild. But one thing became clear. A new, unlikely alliance had formed. Bill Spencer, Sheila Carter, and possibly, in time, Finn. Poppy, devastated, visited Luna in custody. But Luna was gone, mentally unreachable, locked in her own world of guilt, rage, and confusion. She didn't remember pulling the trigger. She didn't remember the hospital. She only cried when she saw her mother. I just wanted them to see me, Luna whispered. I just wanted to matter. Poppy collapsed in tears. She had hidden the truth for so long. Lied to protect her daughter. Lied to herself. And now the consequences were carved into reality: blood, handcuffs, and psychiatric evaluations. Meanwhile, Brooke confronted Bill at Spencer Publications. You're defending Sheila Carter now? Really? After everything she's done? She saved my life, Bill said flatly. And I don't care what history says. I care what just happened. Brooke's fury burned, but she knew arguing wouldn't change his mind. Bill Spencer, once decided, was immovable. And in a private hospital room, Sheila recovered slowly. She smiled every time she saw Finn pass in the hallway. She never called out, never chased. She waited. Eventually, he stopped and looked, then entered. Just for a minute. But it was enough. The impossible alliance was no longer theory. It was real. Spencer, Carter, Sheila, and beneath it all, the echo of Luna's scream before the gunfire, "You made me this way." In Los Angeles, redemption has a price. And revenge never stays buried for long.
Oh.